Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 185 of Report This Post, the podcast about bad posts and bad people. My name is Geiger, and that is Christian.
Take off, you hoser.
And we are your hosts with the posts. Every week, Christian and myself or a listener select a different topic, and then find horrible posts for your listening pleasure. This week's topic, as chosen by some sort of listener named Nick, is Canada.
Canada, that's right. Nick, our favorite Canadian listener.
Mm-hmm. If there were something called a super fan of this podcast, that was at all remotely possible.
If there could be some sort of flair that could be put on Nick's profile, he would get it.
And as a mark of shame, no doubt. But Nick is a big fan of the show, and he's also from the Great White North. So he chose this episode with here is his reasoning behind this choosing. Canada gets too high and mighty, and I want us knocked down a peg. From our black-faced leader to our drunk welfare collectors, there's a post for everybody out there. Bonus points. Maybe I will learn how to delete the wiki if you can find a couple of good posts about Nova Scotia, my shithole province. Grab yourself a twofer, a Mickey pint 4066er, or a Texas Mickey of rum and drink to stay warm. Fuck it, free healthcare. I'm sorry I typed too much. This province is really fucking boring.
Okay.
Well, I certainly didn't look up anything about Nova Scotia because I forgot that thing existed.
Yeah, don't know. Yep. That and Newfoundland, kind of forgot about those.
The only thing about know about Newfoundland is that they're behind a half hour. That's their time zone.
Oh, behind everybody else?
Yeah. They're a half hour difference, which
Pretty
is
cool.
insane to me. And cool. And also, I think until probably right now, I thought Nova Scotia and Newfoundland were the same thing. So that's interesting to find that out.
Immediately this instant. We learn a lot doing this show, folks, and we love it. So
we learn and then instantly forget it. It's a hell of an experience.
And then bring it up 20 to 40 episodes later and then have to say, did we really? Yes.
Yeah, this could be the third time I've even said that particular thing on the show that I've learned that Nova Scotia and Newfoundland are the same thing. I have no idea.
No idea. And don't care. So
yep, it's impossible to care about a fucking province in Canada. One of the countries of the earth, no doubt.
Don't even care about myself. Who gives a shit?
I've been to Canada once.
Have you now?
Talked about on this show. Went to Ontario for a weekend. Is Ontario the city or the province?
Ontario.
Ottawa was the city. I went to
Ottawa's a city. Yeah.
This is how dumb I am. Everything that begins with the same letter, I just think it's the same thing. Ottawa, Ontario, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. It's like, well, I see the first letter. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I think I've registered those things.
I understand where this is at. Yeah, sure.
So I went to both actually, because one of them is inside the other. So I was in that one, and I for a beer event, and I was hanging out with Tom Green for several days.
Yes,
very Canadian type of trip, and he was a pleasant man,
as most Canadians are. Yes,
and the food was very bad.
Yeah, the food there is bad. My experiences being in Canada is I used to travel a lot with one of my close friends that I worked with, and every time we went to Canada, he would get some sort of food poisoning. And one time when we were working there, he ate a big Dagwood sandwich.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't. Excuse me. It was shawarma that he ate, and then ended up having insane diarrhea while being trapped in a stairwell at a museum, and just could not get out. Just trapped in a stairwell, frantically trying to go have diarrhea in a toilet, and ended up just pooping his pants. So, good times with him. He recently died from an inoperable brain tumor, so never will get to travel with him ever again. So
that is too bad. So it was caught in a crazy stairwell. Was it like an Escher painting stairwell? Just like
no, it was just
there was no way to escape.
It was an unused stairwell that you could go into the doors, but once the doors were shut, they were locked from the other side. So he was trying to go down the stairs to go to a bathroom, not realizing that he had to take the elevator, and was just trapped in the stairwell.
I wasn't listening, but he died in the stairwell. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Great. Still there to this day.
Wow. One day they'll find his shit-covered body. But probably not, because when people will smell that, they'll just think it's some of Canada's finest cuisine cooking next door. Some of the grayest dog shit food I've ever seen in my life.
Some of it, yeah.
We'll talk about some of their more famous dishes a little bit later on, but why don't we get started with... I think we'll start off on the right foot, and I think a lot of you folks will know where we're going to start with this.
Very on brand and thematic for this show, yes. This first post is about the biggest news story to come out of Canada this century. Reddit user Arbitrary Order went to the subreddit r@AskAnAmerican to find out. What are your thoughts on Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau dressed in brownface? Lot of back and forth on this one, but user Day in Pompeii replied, "There is nothing wrong with dressing in blackface. We call it blackface. Is this a cultural difference? Society has gone insane trying to tell people that some acts are inherently racist, when a healthy understanding of racism would be based on the intention of an action decided on a case-by-case basis, not a cluster bombing of all similar actions, people wearing makeup to look like others. It's a game, a plaything. It should be regarded as such." Another user went through Day in Pompeii's posting history and pulled out some of his greatest hits. He has said such things as, "Ethnocentrism is the cornerstone of prosperity and power. The belief that we are all better allows us to focus on ourselves and get shit done instead of being unfocused. You really should recognize that our Judeo-Christian values are superior. They built us the best society in the world. There is no reason to ever tolerate different values."
Wow.
He's also said, "There is nothing wrong with blacks paying more for insurance. That is a service based on individual qualities, and blacks tend to have qualities that make them die sooner. That's not discrimination."
Oh, okay.
And he also said, "I can say from Tinder experience, all black women look the same. Besides, if you believe race is just skin deep, then that means that we can be attracted to or not attracted to a certain race, because that's what attraction is. Skin deep."
Well, yes. I'll be.
So something tells me that Day in Pompeii has a certain belief structure that he is very, very, very supportive of.
You got to give it to him. He is consistent with just about everything he's saying. The puzzle pieces fit together.
And it somehow makes a four-legged looking emblem.
I don't know what that means, but all right, that's fine.
A swastika. Thanks, folks.
A swastika is a four-legged emblem.
What would you...
I've never considered those legs. All right, so new shirt, swastika with toes and feet on the end of it.
Swastika with high heels on it.
Stinky feet.
Doing a Bugs Bunny thing to the swastika. Just a sexy woman's leg.
That is actually a wonderful idea.
Folks, keep an eye out.
Speaking of world leaders, a gentleman named Diamond Cat 87 started this thread on the subreddit r conspiracy theories. Ronald Reagan was a Canadian. I'm open to the idea of changing my opinions on this particular subject, but I believe Ronald Reagan and possibly more people. Hear me out. 1. He sounds like a Canadian. He has a very Canadian accent. 2, he has a lot of quotes, but a very important one to look at is, quote, "my fellow Americans." Does that sound like something an actual American would say? Because to me it sure doesn't. 3, he went from being an actor from a low-end town in Illinois to the governor of California and eventually the president of the U.S. That doesn't sound like something that could actually happen. How lucky you must have to be for that to happen. This leads me to believe he wasn't actually from a town in Illinois or an actor, but instead a Canadian. 4, he started the war on drugs, which did nothing in the end. Does that sound like something a man of his level would fail? Of course not. This leads me to believe the war on drugs was made to fail on purpose by the Canadian government. 5, if he was truly an American, he would have stopped the Cold War sooner, but the Cold War lasted and the Cold War ended after he was no longer president. And that is all the information I have gathered. I am constantly searching for more evidence, so I get the truth out so people know Ronald Reagan for who he actually was.
That's great.
He's only made one other thread over on Reddit, and it was on a Vor subreddit requesting Jeffrey Dahmer Vor. So...
Man after our own heart, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, how does a Canadian becoming president of the United States make any more sense than a movie star from Illinois?
Well,
I mean, that to me is these are the worst examples for a conspiracy theory that I think I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like
right
it's
off the
just
bat, he sounds like a Canadian. He has a very Canadian accent. He doesn't, in fact. So
Case
that's
closed.
the tough one to start with. Tough one to lead off.
And it's weird because it seems it comes across as almost a shitpost, but there's too much stuff in it to me. Like,
and it's not shitty
effort.
enough. It's just kind of dumb, which
would
be a great shitpost. But I'm gonna guess this guy is just kind of a weird, dumb guy.
Yeah. Well, maybe weird about the Canadian stuff, but he's on the level when it comes to Jeffrey Dahmer Vor. So great, good for him. Hey, we talked about Canadian food a little bit earlier. You ever had poutine?
Yes, I have had poutine, as the snooty server in Quebec corrected me when I ordered it.
One of them Frenchy ones, huh?
Like, oh boy. And yeah, it was fine to me. But what is it?
Review. Well, for our folks out there that haven't had it, it's gravy and cheese curds served over French fries. I think it's great. It's carbohydrates and fat. Love.
I would say I've had it before here in America from like food trucks.
Sure.
And that was good. Because as Americans, we do things a lot better than Canadians do. So
that gravy came out of a bottle from the grocery store and heated up and poured over frozen French fries.
A bottle of gravy from the great country of America.
We do it better down here, folks. What can I say? Well, user Trout Black went to the subreddit r/poutine to ask, how often do you have poutine? Do you like to eat it a few times a month, a few times a year, weekly, daily? It is probably my most favorite comfort food ever. And the top comment from user Scotty's Acrophobia, there was a period of my life where I'd eat poutine at minimum 6 times a week. I ended up gaining some odd 80 pounds over 7 months.
Yep.
I can believe it. Sure can. So checked out Scotty's bio over there on Reddit. He posts a lot in R Cured Meats, R Male Living Spaces, and R Bathing, the subreddit about taking baths. So this is a man of leisure and luxury.
This guy is awesome.
This is who Reddit is made for.
Oh. This is the
bacon,
perfect life.
Baths, and gaining LBs. That's what this guy's about.
Bathing?
Yeah, a whole subreddit about bathing. What's your perfect bath setup?
Tips and tricks? Anyone got any hacks?
How do you keep the water in the tub?
Yeah, I'm 700 pounds. The water keeps displacing rapidly. What do I do about that?
Anybody have any tips for my Taft-like proportions?
Yeah, this guy's awesome. God, minimum 6 times a week. So
You gotta
on
think.
average, 8, 9.
Yeah, twice on Fridays for sure. You got to think in what you're probably pushing 900 calories at a bare minimum when you're eating that stuff. So
yeah, at least I don't think he's taking that would be the smart portion sized version, and I don't think he's doing that. I would guess
80 pounds in 7 months, not crazy, but not great. I mean, I feel like he would probably be. I think he's lowballing that estimate too, because there's no way the man stepped on a scale to tell how much he gained.
No,
not checking that out.
Well, I also want to see what folks had to say about poutine. This is from the subreddit you first brought up, or Ask an American. Why hasn't America stolen poutine from the Canadians and adopted it as their own? I mean, think about it. It's 3 staple American ingredients: fries, gravy, and cheese. It's super cheap, fast, and easy to make, and it's got ungodly amounts of calories. It is the perfect beer food and just seems like such a no-brainer for American restaurants. User Firebolt164 responded, hygiene, poor health in general, and obesity / being overweight. I manage my diet and make healthy choices, and I expect my partners to do the same. Okay. Drug and alcohol dependency is a hard no for me.
Okay.
Seems kind of unrelated.
It's weird, yeah.
Firebolt164 likes to ask folks on Reddit questions a lot himself. Here's a few of the threads he started. Anal play. How many girls really love having their butthole played with? What was your last sexting session like, and with who? Copy and paste one line and share it. Let's keep it going.
Boy, brother.
How did you discover you enjoy eating ass or having yours eaten? Face sitting. Do you prefer facing headboard or facing your partner's feet? And finally, new to the kink, interested in a female perspective. This was posted to our chastity.
Great. Yep. I like to see that. Yeah, the line about the partners in there kind of stands out as to why you would put that, but now it makes perfect sense. The guy's just a straight up pervert. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So chastity, what exactly is that kink? That's when you're like, is it when that's when the guy puts like his dick and balls in a cage, right?
Yep, and it's controlled by his partner, so you don't get to get hard, or it's all on somebody else's. But whatever they decide, you get to take off your little cock cage and let your little shrimp stretch out.
I mean, that sounds
okay. We're good. We're learning some stuff here about Geiger.
Look, I'm not revolted by the idea of it, but also the idea of like any sort of actual work beyond just fucking is too much.
Yeah, you really just want to come when you're doing it. Like that's the big thing. Just come and be done with it and never have to worry about it again. So
yeah, delaying the come, like to me, I don't want to delay the come. I just want to either come or not come. Period. So feel free to do the cage, but then that's it. It's just on, and I don't have. I'll just piss through the little the bars.
Got to make
sometimes.
A mess, right? It just
of course.
It's just spraying all over the
and
place.
then we're done, and that's the end of the kink. The kink is finished.
And I die with the fucking thing on because it's
right.
just there. Yep, great. Well, good luck to that guy.
Well, we'll get back to the post in a second, but first, this episode of Report This Post is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. And good news, Manscaped recently launched the ultimate men's hygiene bundle, the Performance Package. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping by using promo code REPORT at manscaped.com. Isn't that right, Christian?
That is right. And Manscaped is such a wonderful partner who decided to join up with us. And they sent us a whole bunch of goodies to help us clean up our disgusting undercarriages. The Manscaped Performance Package includes the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, which is also for your balls, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag. You get all that in the beautiful performance package from Manscaped.
Mm-hmm. You and I split those goodies up amongst us. I took the crown jewel of the package. That is the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. It's a 4th generation trimmer featuring a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof, so no more mess on the bathroom floor, and it also features a 400K LED spotlight, because who doesn't love an intimate and well-lit look at their own nutsack, especially if it's in one of those chastity cages, which might make this whole operation very difficult now that I think about it. So you know what? The kink is off, folks. No longer interested, because I wouldn't be able to use my Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0.
Yeah, well, you know what could come in handy is the Manscaped Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. Could also get right between those bars and kind of clean up where the lawnmower can't quite reach. It's a really nice little tool there, waterproof, and provides proprietary skin-safe technology as well, which helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs. I've been using that over here, which is great, seeing as how I am trying to have an active sex life, and my downstairs is fucked up because Geiger took the Lawnmower 4.0. Hey, and because we know you little pigs love free stuff, Manscaped threw in 2 free goodies to this whole performance package. That's the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag.
That's right. And I forgot to mention the Crop Preserver Below the Waist deodorant, Crop Reviver Below the Waist toner. Add that to your daily hygiene routine, and your life will literally improve. You will probably live longer, which is awesome. Or not, depending on how the rest of your life is going. This would be undoubtedly the highlight of everything that's going on in your life. Take care of your nuts, and your nuts will take care of you. Head over to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with promo code REPORT. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com when you use promo code REPORT at checkout. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
A user with a string of consonants as a username posted, "What's wrong with Canadian women on our dating?" I am Canadian, but lived in the Netherlands for most of my adulthood. During my first year as a student, I had constant sex with a girl for half a year, then slept with 2 to 3 more. In my second year, I slept with 8 and met my current girlfriend, the hottest piece of ass I've ever seen. She let me sleep with other girls, sort of, but I also cheated a few times. During my bachelor year, I slept with a dozen girls, mostly German, all between 17 and 22, all 7s and above. Some of them actually wanted to date me seriously. Coming back to Canada, my girlfriend lets me sleep with other girls because she's not possessive, and she used to let me go to hookers in Holland, so she just doesn't care. However, my Tinder is like I'm shadow banned. 1 match a month, an obese girl, and that's it. In my new university, nothing at all. Didn't meet a single girl except for a weird French girl who paid me for drinks and touched my thigh but didn't want to make out. I slept with a Canadian immigrant last year and a 17-year-old 3 years ago, my only Canadian girl since 2013. So since 2 years, I've had less activity in my worst 4 months in the Netherlands. What's up with that? Well, if I look around me, I kind of have an answer to my question. My generation in Canada is mostly immigrants hanging amongst themselves, and the few white women are like my sisters, either being only into non-white immigrants or having multiple short-term flings. And Gundick Rose replied, "Congrats on being a disgusting piece of garbage."
I don't know, this guy's really got a whole vibe going. Seems to work for him, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Some way.
He's getting tail hell or high water, it sounds like. So good for him. Except for when he comes back to Canada, where it's just all immigrants. So yeah,
disgusting.
Terrible. Too bad for him. And a weird French girl that wants to buy him drinks and then touch his leg.
That sounds like a French thing to do. They don't they have odd perceptions of what sex is, and
That's right. They invented it, though. Isn't that true?
Yeah, but other people figured it out after them.
Yeah, specifically the Greeks. They really knew what they were doing when it came to sex.
This is from the Dumb Woman Hub on Reddit, r Witches versus Patriarchy. The squirrels were trying to tell me something today. My partner and I go for daily lunchtime walks through a little wooded park that we've named Mirthwood, and always stop to hug our favorite tree. It's autumn in eastern Canada, and Mirthwood is filled with doughy little squirrels running around building nests and burying nuts. Today, we stopped and hugged the tree as usual, and as we were leaving, I lingered a bit because a pudgy squirrel seemed to be interested in me. Then another, till I was virtually surrounded by squirrels, on the ground and along the tree trunk, staring at me and trying to get closer. I had to take a step back because, we're not really on such familiar terms yet, and they were getting into my personal space. Eventually I left, and it was really funny to see them all looking at me. I have never fed them, and I haven't seen anyone else feed them. I was not carrying any food. Any ideas? This woman is active in subreddits for houseplants, mechanical keyboards, and Satanism.
Yeah, she's definitely a kind of person for sure. She's got a partner. She has named a part of a park where they go to hug trees. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, make fun of her all you want, but she's probably giving top tier head for somebody to put up with all that bullshit. So
that is
mechanical
true.
keyboard, probably pretty high on the list. I'd put that above the Satanism thing. The witchcraft would come after the click clack bullshit of a mechanical keyboard. So
in terms of tolerating,
yeah, intolerable. Top would be the mechanical keyboard, and then all the way down that way. Hey, speaking of annoying people, someone went to our Ask Reddit for some technical help. Reddit, how can I get the stupid Canada link off of my top bar? I've already gone in my preferences, and Canada is unselected, while almost every other Reddit I look at is selected. I was hoping that this would push Canada off the bar and fill it with Reddits I actually want to read. But instead, Canada is now the second Reddit listed, behind atheism. Am I missing something? And Jim Suss commented, maybe people would help if you didn't ask your questions like a dick. To which the OP replied, I don't think I asked like a dick. It's a stupid link that I don't want on my bar. It just happens to be Canada. Don't get all offended just because it's Canada. It could just as easily been any other subreddit. And a now deleted user responded to that with, don't be such a jerk about Canada, and maybe I'd tell you how. And the OP commented, why is everyone getting offended about this? I do not want the Canada subreddit on my bar. I didn't say anything negative about Canada itself.
This guy really hates Canada.
He sure does. It really is. It's a nice little snapshot of exactly how Reddit works, though. It's hey, can I get some help? Hey, fuck you. How about you go fuck off? Why don't you ask nicely next to me?
What? Yeah. So Canada, behind atheism.
Yeah. Got to get that atheism in the top place there.
Yeah, and you got to, of course, make sure people know that. That very relevant information.
Good sir.
So there's a guy who's used to winning arguments online, usually against brain-dead theists. But he met his match with just another dick online. Just another random dick.
Oh, I see. We're evenly matched. There's like shadow boxing, blocking each other. Good form, sir.
Fuck you. Aha, but fuck you.
Oh, really, really good. Love to see arguments like that. That's a staple of online. A good fuck you back and forth.
Yeah, that's a lot of hate. And I found a subreddit called "Are On Guard for Thee," the description of which is, this is a Canada-specific subreddit that allows all types of Canadian content. We're the only general Canadian subreddit that doesn't allow bigotry or hate.
Okay.
Really proud of that, I guess, that they don't allow bigotry or hate. Every other Canadian subreddit, of course, allows it.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
Why not?
With that, here's a post from there made around Canada Day back in July. Has anyone had to deal with ignorant Canadians who are also Christian about Canada Day? I've posted on my social media about not celebrating Canada Day due to the mass graves being uncovered in different residential schools. I fully stand by my decision not to celebrate and have continued to educate myself and others during this hard time. I've had a few, quote, Christians message me saying that we should still celebrate because of how much they love Canada and God, the two things that caused residential schools. I responded politely and explained that I stand by what I've posted, but I'm getting enraged at how many Canadian Christians don't care about an ongoing national tragedy. Has anyone found a nice way to tell these people to fuck off? And a woman named Betty Jean responded, I feel like it's our job as non-Indigenous or settlers to engage with these people. It's taxing and emotional labor for sure, but it shouldn't be up to Indigenous folks to be educating.
Okay, still doesn't answer how you're supposed to do that, Betty Jean. So still, how do you approach it? Because you were just literally you're just barfing out the it's not Indigenous people's job to teach you. Not what the guy's asking though, but nice work there, terrific. I don't know if our listeners are aware of what this is talking about, but back in the day, Indigenous kids were tried to be assimilated into white Canadian culture by being put into different schools and institutions there, and the schools just ended up killing them and burying them on the grounds. So a number of these higher educational schools have mass graves on the grounds, upwards of 200 kids. So that's
rude.
Cool. So those are some Indigenous folks that cannot educate you because they're dead, completely 100% dead.
Yeah, it seems like they lost. So I think our friends up there should still celebrate Canada Day, knowing that they came out on top over those babies that were tossed into a pit. Sorry, you had your shot.
And had a soccer field just put right over top of them. They call it soccer up there, or is it football? They call it footy? Not sure.
Don't know, and definitely don't care.
Great.
All right, we're going to stop right here because we're going to finish the rest of this episode over on patreon.com/reportthispost. That's right. If you enjoyed this first 20-ish to 30-ish minutes of the episode, you'll be happy to know that there's about an hour extra of this one over there on patreon.com/reportthispost. Head over there, and all you got to do is subscribe for $5 a month. You'll get every single full episode with dozens of more posts a month, plus an additional bonus episode every single week. Unbelievable. This is literally millions of posts that we read on the air every single month. Possibly billions. I have not counted. In fact, I can't count. I'm actually illiterate as well. But irregardless, patreon.com/reportthispost, and we'll see you over there, and God bless.